right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Saturday the 2nd of June. Starting out this month a little slow, you know, we need a little break every once in a while. You know, the first week, just one tasting and two tastings next week. We've got a Rhone tasting at Cafe Max, which those tastings at Cafe Max, man, are filling up 50 people at the last two of them. So make your reservations for early for that. The last three, I think, have sold out the day before the event. And then we have this tasting we're here to promote today, our vintage white tasting. That's right, folks. You know, we could do a California Cabernet or Bordeaux tasting every week, but we are trying to make our way around the world of great wines. And, you know, we're a little guilty of neglecting the white wines here at the Wine Watch. Of the 5 rooms of display, only one of them has white, and there's Spanish wine and other wines that have been encroaching upon that white wine room. So we've got to beef things up. You know, it's summertime year-round here, and, well, you know, I know one guy that would be at this tasting if he were in town, our ultimate white guy, Ray. And unfortunately, Ray is no longer living down here, so we're going to drink these white wines and think about you, buddy. Everything on the table will be over 10 years old. 10-year-old white wine? Is it going to be any good? Well, actually, the MUSAR is not quite 10 years old. We're doing a little reception with that. One of the greatest whites made in the world, CHATEAU MUSAR, from a grape that nobody has heard of, from a place, Lebanon, where most people don't think of grapes, but you know, the birthplace of wine is actually the Middle East, and they make great wines in the Middle East, and some of them just starting to come to our shores today. And this MUSAR, I was lucky enough to do a tasting with Serge, the owner, going back to '59 with the whites and the reds. And I asked Serge how he wanted me to treat his wines. He said, please decanter the 1959 white first. A white wine that old, decantered first? Well, let me tell you, that wine was still good at the end of the day. Amazing how much oxygen. Well, a good wine should be good for, you know, 2 or 3 days open. That's how long it usually takes a wine to oxidize. Older wines, obviously, it may happen a little quicker, but a good bottle, you still got, you know, at least a day or two in it after you open it, even an old bottle like the '59 MUSAR. So we're going to start out with the 2004, the only wine that's under our 10-year limit, but it is just a reception wine. And then, of course, we'll be going to France because they do make some of the most age-worthy wine in the world. And Riesling, one of the longest-lived of all the white varietals. So, of course, we're going to start there with a wine from Alsace, from Trimbach, the Clos Saint-Hune. And then we've got, of course, Burgundy was going to be on our tour a couple of times. Some of the greatest white wines in the world, some of the longest-lived found in Burgundy, 100% from the Chardonnay varietal. One of the great producers, Colin Delager, from the Côte de Beaune, with his Chassagne Montrachet Premier Cru, and then on to Francois Ravenot, one of the great legendary producers of Chablis. This Blanc Show 2002 should be incredible. Then Comte Lafon, another legendary producer, 2002, MEURSAULT Perrier, and then on to Bordeaux, the great whites of Bordeaux, also very long-lived, and we're going to be trying 2 wines, very hard to get your hands on, LAVILLE Haut and Haut Blanc. Haut Blanc more expensive than the reds in certain vintages, $450 for this 1990, an epic vintage in Bordeaux. Should be incredible. And then we've got some sweet wines, of course. Sweet wines last a very long time. We've got one from the Loire Valley, HUET, VOUVRAY, MOELLEUX, and then, of course, we can't have a tasting without a German wine in the tasting. German Riesling's also very long-lived. The 2001, an epic vintage, and this Emmanuel Monchoff Auchelais should be out of this world. 8 wines, 9 wines, including the reception wine, and we got a couple of small courses, of course, provided by Wine Watch Catering, my lovely wife Toni, and the price, $95. Did I misprice this? My God, the Haut Blanc is $450. Well, check it out. The value of the year in our tasting lineup, our vintage white tasting, the ultimate whites. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.